what I'm hearing, even the year I fired the coach, we still won the game.
I got a champion coming back. No, but yes or no, I mean, they have didn't know me, but a lot of people did.
All right, Neil Smith.
Hi, Neil. Hey, good evening, everyone. Can we tell some jokes tonight? Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight and joining us for what is one of the more special nights of our year. And frankly, it's not just a special night for us; it's a special night for a lot of our incoming T-Birds. Right? You think about these young men and women, these boys and girls in high school, and joining us as T-Birds. They've been working for years and years and years for the opportunity to play Division I sports, and for some to earn a scholarship to play in college. And it's a pretty special moment for them, and for us, it's a really special moment as well. When you think about all the hard work, the hours, the weeks, the months, the years, in some cases, of recruiting these student athletes to come to Southern Utah. It's a really special night for our coaches, I think, to sort of close the book on a recruiting class and be done in some ways on recruiting for the next cohort of T-Birds. This is a funny world, of course, though, with the transfer portal and everything else we face these days, that I don't think recruiting ever really ends, right? So it's just a continual process throughout the year. But it's a night for us to celebrate. It's a night for us to recognize all the hard work our coaches and staff have put in this year. And frankly, it's a nice night for us to welcome new T-Birds to our family. So I want to recognize a few people that are here tonight. This is it's always fun when we get together because we always get great support from our university leadership, and you all know our provost, and Provost Mendini is here tonight. Again, thank you so much for being here, all your great support. Yep. We have one of the deans, right? Dean of the College of Education is here tonight, Pam Powell. Thanks, Dean Powell. We appreciate you. And we have one of our state senators here. Always you see Evan Vickers at almost everything we do. Senator Vickers. Evan, thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate you so much. And I personally think he's a celebrity, but maybe you all don't. But the voice of the T-Birds, right? I love when Spencer's around. Spencer McLaughlin, thank you for being here. We appreciate you, buddy. And frankly, you should be up here, not me. You got a better voice, right? So next year. I also want to say thank you to Ruby and Carly for putting this together tonight, right? It takes a lot of effort to put together events like this and all the logistics that go into it, the invites and getting people here. And this is a beautiful room, great setup. Thank you guys, appreciate you. There's a few other folks I want to thank too, and this is sort of more behind the scenes, right? When you're recruiting and going through the process of recruiting student athletes to come to your university, we do a lot of academic and compliance sort of screening behind the scenes to make sure that students are capable students and coming here to be successful at Southern Utah. So, man, our academic and compliance staff does an amazing job, and we ask a lot of them. And throughout the recruiting process, it gets intense and it gets pressured sometimes, but thank you guys for all your work, and thank you for what you do throughout the year, but especially during the recruiting time, all of our academics and compliance people that do all the great work behind the scenes. And then our assistant coaches, like the head coaches are going to come up here tonight and welcome our new T-Birds in, but man, the assistant coaches and all the support staff and all our teams, you guys do an amazing job. We appreciate you all year long, but just want to say thank you tonight for all your hard work. And importantly, not to be overlooked, because sometimes we don't give them enough appreciation, but I want to thank the spouses and the families of all of our coaches and coaching staff, because holy cow, our coaches work a lot of hours. They are in the office day, nights, and weekends, holidays, traveling on recruiting, traveling on competition, and for what they do to support our coaches and our staffs is just amazing. So to all the spouses and families, we appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for lending us your people to work for the T-Birds. So it's a special night, and I'm excited to learn a lot about the kind of the future of what our T-Bird teams are going to look like tonight, and learn a little bit more about the signees that will be joining us. And we're gonna kick it off tonight with our great gymnastics coach. Please welcome Scotty Bauman. Come up, Scotty.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's so good to have you all here today. We are very excited for tomorrow. Before we get to our recruits, we have our inter squad tomorrow over in the AFEC, and we want to see you all there. It's going to be a great night. But as far as our newest flippin' birds, we have 4 young ladies coming in. One of them is coming in December, just in a couple of weeks. Siri Brazel out of St. George, Utah. She is a very solid all-around athlete. She's particularly good on beam. She could actually walk into our program and within a couple of weeks make our beam lineup. She's that good on that event, and we have a very good beam team. But she's very good on bars, floor, and ball. She's very powerful. So it's just going to take some time to get her in, you know, kind of included within the team and the structure and the culture of the team. But we've known Siri since she was a little kid, and she's going to do amazing things for the Thunderbirds in the future. Our next one is Ariel Collum out of Las Vegas, Nevada. She is, and I'll be straight up, I'm being honest with y'all, and I'm saying this right now. This is one of the best bar workers in the entire country. She's going to probably break our bar record within the first 2 or 3 meets. She's that good. She does some release moves on bars that you just never see. And one of them, it's called a Nabieva, and very few people in the entire world can do that. So it's gonna be a fun time watching this young lady on bars, but she's very good everywhere else. But right now, she stands out on bars so bad, it's gonna be fun to watch, again. The next one, I'm trying to be quick because we have practice right now going on in the AFEC. And I only get 1 practice a year over there, so I gotta get over there. The next one is Stella Darren. Stella Darren comes to us from Fort Collins, Colorado. She is like a lot of the girls on our team. She's very tall. She's unusually tall for a gymnast, but she'll fit right into our team really well. Stella is particularly good on beam, floor, and those 2 events are her strong events. And it's really weird to see those 2 kind of events go together because one's a very technical event, one's a very powerful event. And she's coming along really good on bars and vault, but right now she's going to be able to walk into our program and start for us on beam and floor for sure. She's very strong. And then our last one is Berlin Hall. And Berlin's out of Gilbert Christian High School in Gilbert, Arizona. And she is a very, very strong athlete on floor, vault, and beam. Her bars are gonna need a little bit of work, but that's one of the things that I think we do best here at Southern Utah. I still teach gymnastics, and Stella will be a very good all-arounder for us. These guys are very accomplished. Stella Darren is a 2-time level 10 national championship qualifier. Berlin Hall has qualified to regionals out of Region 1, which is very hard, a couple of times. Very solid athletes. These guys are meant to fill the voids of the seniors that we lose this year in Ellie Cachola and Taylor Gull and Bella Neff. So those 3 are gonna leave a big hole for us next year, and these 4 girls can come in and hopefully fill that void, but they're very hard to replace. So it'll take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, but one of the things I think we do really well in our gymnastics program is we bring kids in from high school, they work within our culture, and we haven't really done a lot of recruiting in the portal yet, but I know that's going to be something that's probably going to start happening because every year we get a lot of kids that want to come to Southern Utah out of there. So, but we're really excited for these 4 amazing young ladies. They're going to make a huge impact on our program in the future. So I want to introduce next is Tyler Strickland, our associate head volleyball coach, and he's going to tell us our outstanding athlete for volleyball. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tyler Strickland. Want to start with we're really excited about getting into this next year. We got a good group of athletes that we're talking to and finalizing in the last steps of bringing them in for this next class. It's going to be an exciting time. I'm going to get to our athlete. Her name's Katie Holker. She's from California, San Clemente, to be precise. I actually have a connection with this player. I coached her from when she was about 12 years old all the way up until last year when I came here. She's a really good player that's going to come in and help the culture right away. She understands the systems that we're teaching. She's an athletic kid, really strong mindset, and I'm really excited to bring her in and be a part of the class that I believe will help us kind of continue to build this culture that we're really trying to establish here. So with that being said, I'm really thankful to be here. Looking forward to finalizing this group and bringing them in, and then we'll be moving on to Don Williams for softball.
Pull cool this down a little bit. Good evening. So our 2025 recruits, we've got 6 T-Birds coming in the fall of 2025. We've got 2 pitchers, 1 catcher, 1 middle infielder, 1 corner, and 1 outfielder. So we feel like they're a really good class. Our first one that we have, I think, coming in, is Elena Maki. She's from San Diego, California, and we're looking forward to seeing her in that uniform next fall. And you probably can tell we didn't bring her in for her speed, but she is our outfielder, our 1 outfielder that we've signed. And don't let her fool you. She can move really well, track down balls. Her older sister currently plays for the University of Oregon. They've got some great athletic DNA in their family, and we're excited that she chose to come to Cedar City and play for us. So she's going to be a great addition to our program. Our next one is Mackenzie Becerra. She's from Chino Hills, California. She's going to be one of our corners. Once again, another kid that can come in and hit. You know, when you play home games at 5,800 feet, kids that can hit the ball far is a benefit for us. So we really feel like she's going to come in and help our offensive lineup and play some corners for us as well. Avery Nilsson is our next one, and she's a pitcher from Tucson, Arizona. A long, lanky kid, over 6 foot tall. Spins the ball well. She has a lot of upswing in her game, so we're looking forward to seeing her in the circle. You might recognize her last name. Her older sister is currently on our roster. She's a redshirt sophomore pitcher, so this family produced 2 pitchers out of Tucson, Arizona, and so we're super excited about that. But having sisters on the team is going to be fun. But an interesting fact is we already have a set of sisters on our team. We have the Hokinson twins currently that are juniors, so next year we will have 2 sets of sisters. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I think there might be some alliances going on between those guys, so we'll see. Our next one's Savannah Lira. She's from Fontana, California. She'll be behind the dish, a catcher for us. I think she's really going to help our battery. Once again, another kid that can hit as well, but she does a good job at commanding the strike zone and working with our pitchers, and she's going to be a good addition to our battery. We have Carson Sanchez coming in from Riverside, California. This is our middle infielder, very athletic kid. She can move, play any position, very versatile. So we're looking forward to having her. I think bringing in those kids that can play multiple positions is very beneficial to fit into our system. And she's a very athletic kid and has a really good glove. And then our last is Mia Tamcock, and she is a pitcher from Irvine, California. And she's a little bit smaller in stature, but she can spin well and she can locate, and she has a really good off speed. And I think in today you can't have a pitcher that doesn't have off speed because the hitters are too dang good. So I think she's going to come in and really complement our pitching staff and do a great job for us. So those are our 6. We're super excited about them. Great kids, good families. They're going to be a great addition to our department and our program. So we're looking forward to it. All right. I get to introduce the one and the only, the GOAT of our track and field program, Coach Poole.
Did you pay her to say that?
Yeah, and it's going to cost me a lot, so, but it was really nice of you. And it's good to have this activity. It's great. It makes me feel, I've been through this a lot, and to see us come together like this and, you know, represent all the programs and experience, you know, what's coming in is really pretty cool. We have a number of athletes on, our recruiting, like most, doesn't stop, and we have a number of athletes coming in tomorrow that we're recruiting, and our signing doesn't really end until after track season, and so we'll normally bring in close to 15 athletes that will replace both on the men's and the women's side. And so we're looking forward to that. We signed some recruits right now on the early signing period. If you, Utah has a reputation in this country in producing distance runners. And proof of that is BYU won both men's and women's national championship this year in cross country. And I think there's something about olive oil that I'm gonna start researching that they used apparently. So it's really difficult to recruit against them and some of the other schools, like all of us experience, but when we can snag some of the best athletes in the country, it is really a awesome experience. And I think what we've had so far, Connor Watcock is our first one. He's out of Quarter Canyon. This is one of the top distance programs in the state. So to snag him out of there, he's out of the Draper, Utah area. He's a mid-distance person. He's going to come in right away and potentially make the trials in the finals at the conference championship. And I really hope that he will develop and make the NCAA finals in the first round of the finals. Because if I can get him down to 149, he should be able to make the first round of the NCAA, and we should be able to do that. So I think he's going to be a great addition. All these distance athletes, too, have a tendency to be top students in the classroom, too, which takes the pressure off of us in terms of worrying about where they are and stuff. So it really makes it kind of nice. Parker Barnes is the next one out of Mountain View. The team has won a number of state championships. He's obviously a 419 miler, but his 2-mile, 3,200 meter is what I was most impressed with. That's averaging each mile in about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So and you don't get a timeout in between the first mile and then to start the second mile. So you got to be in very good shape and extremely competitive. He'll come in right away and help us in cross country, and he'll also help us obviously at the regional and conference level and the regional level. Jake Sigmeller is also out of Utah. He's Riverton High School, another powerful school in the state in distance, in cross country and track and field. 2-mile time, or his mile time is 4 minutes and 12 seconds, as you can see, and his 2-mile time is a lot like Parker's. So that is going to be a very, very strong group of young men that are coming in. We're bringing in some women tomorrow, distance runners and sprinters tomorrow, and some additional distance sprinters on the guys' side. And so it's just the beginning of our recruiting class. But I believe these athletes, along with the ones that we have that are coming off of missions, because I've always redshirted the missionaries to get them ready, and so they'll come on board too, and they're just as good as this. So I think we won't really miss a beat in terms of our competitiveness at the conference level, which always makes it really kind of nice. And they're normally really solid young men and women, so it's really quite enjoyable, and I can't wait. So now it's my turn to introduce Tracy, one of the stud basketball coaches here. I remember, it just amazes me constantly. I'll make it fast. I remember I was so excited in college that we were going to have a big basketball game. And I had a radio station at the job I was working at, and I couldn't wait to get to work because the game tip-off was at 7 o'clock. And I turned it on. I got everything under control, and I just sat there, and I thought, God, we have really developed as a program. I'm so excited. And that game was Weber State. And now to turn on the TV and watch us play Notre Dame is insane. It was so cool to see that. So all our programs have developed like that. So it's really awesome to see. So the dreams we have and the things we think can happen will happen. I'm telling you it'll happen, but we got to stay together. We got to work together. We got to keep working hard. So anyways, with that, Tracy.
I'm going to move this up just a little bit. I appreciate that. And we are working hard to get back there. We got a long ways to go. I am very excited about the 4 ladies that we have that will be joining us next year. I think we've kind of evaluated what we feel like we need as a program to kind of get back to hopefully where we were a couple years ago playing someone like Notre Dame. But we have 4 ladies that we have coming in, fast, quick, athletic, and I think the biggest thing for me is they're competitive, and that's what I love the most. So I will start with Val Kulker. She is coming from California. She actually played at Pinewood High School, which is where Ava Urich on our team is from. They were teammates. So I think that tells you a little bit about probably the tempo and the aggression and competitiveness that she has. She's a tremendous shooter. She can play point guard for us. She can play shooting guard. She averaged about 13 points, 5 rebounds a game her junior year. She had a 30-point game where she shot 10 for 11 from the 3-point line. So someone who we feel like is going to come in, be a contributor for us, a great shooter, very dynamic, fun, just good personality. So we're excited to get her here. I think she'll be someone that we will be able to play right away and is going to do some really good things for us on the court. The next player is Joss Baker. Joss is from Salt Lake City. She actually just finished winning a state title in soccer, so she's a multi-sport athlete. She's a goalie. I know Kai's not here, but he was trying to swoop in on her a few weeks ago. Said, nope, it's not happening. But super great athlete, great human being. She's tough, she's physical. She's another one that can kind of play multiple positions for us. Averaged 15 and 10 last year. I think she had 15 games where she was double digits for both scoring and rebounding, and she's going to be a great player for us. So she also has a sister that already goes to SUU, so kind of fun to have the family here. Devin Kiernan, super excited about her. She was kind of one of our last additions, and she is from Southern California, you can see. She's from Mater Dei, just a great player. She's a coach's kid. Her mom is a college coach at Concordia. Her dad is the athletic director at Mater Dei, was her high school coach for quite a few years and moved on to the athletic director position. But she's just a smart player. I mean, we were really lucky to get her here. I think most coaches assumed that she was going to either go play for mom or stay in California, and we were able to kind of swoop in and get her here. But she's going to be a tremendous player. Just like I said, super, super smart. She can play point guard. She can play pretty much any 1 through 4, but probably one of the most competitive players that you will get to watch on our team. So just really, really excited about her. And then lastly is Emily Schultz. Emily is from Australia. She will actually be joining us in the spring. Their school year is a little bit different over there, so she'll come in here in the next couple weeks. She'll redshirt this year, and then she'll start playing in the fall, but I think she's going to be a great player as well. She was the captain of her under-20 team at the Nationals, Australian Nationals. Just a great player, great human being. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what she can do. I think she's going to offer a lot of versatility for us as well. And one of the things that I love about all 4 of these players is I think they make us a lot faster, and I think that's something right now that we really are looking to try to do and change in the culture of the program and kind of how we do things. So it's a great group. Excited to get them here, and just, yeah, appreciate all the support. Oh, and I also get to introduce one of the GOATs, Coach Church. Are we in year 21? 25?
Yeah, 25 is the head.
20, awesome.
28, I think 28 or 29.
Dang.
I don't know. I also don't know how
All
old.
that at 45.
I also don't know how old I am anymore. So, and before I get going, I just want to tell all of you how grateful I am for the opportunity to coach at Southern Utah University. And around this room are a lot of people that support our golf program in ways you know and we know, and without the community, it just doesn't happen. And I think I can speak for other coaches as well in saying that. We've got some exciting kids to announce. I'm going to put my glasses on and hope I can see. First off, Taylin Wilson. Taylin is the granddaughter of my good friend Rich Wilson. A number of years ago, when she was just a little kid, Rich asked me to give her a golf lesson. And that first day, I told Taylin, you know, if you keep working hard, one day you could play college golf here. And she's Rich's granddaughter, but that's not the reason we signed her. She's an all-stater. She anchored the Cedar girls golf team to their first ever state championship last year. First team all-state member, and can pound the golf ball. A great personality. We're gonna have fun having Taylin on the team. Another signee we have is also a local kid, Braylon Bingham. I tried to get Braylon to come here a couple of years ago, and to Braylon's credit, he thought his game needed a couple of more years of work, so he went junior college route. Braylon has turned into a high-quality golfer. Last year in the state amateur, Braylon made it to match play, and for those of you in the room that follow golf, you'll know how impressive that is in the state of Utah. Our final signee that I want to talk about, and it's very early in the morning where he's from in Hanoi, but Wee Doan. Now, we, and not to put too much pressure on but we is the most talented golfer that we have ever signed at Southern Utah. His world amateur golf ranking has been as low as 488, and at his tender young age, he has an official world golf ranking, which for those that don't know, that's the professional ranking. And he's been ranked as high as 2,300 in the world. A few months ago, we was paired with Jake Vincent in the final round of Asian Development Tour tournament in Vietnam. Had the pleasure to get to know Wee through the camps I've been involved with the last 10 years. But that's the signees for this year for SUU Golf, and we appreciate your support. It's my pleasure to introduce good friend, Coach Jeter. Come on up, Coach.
Thank you. While Coach Church is up, you know, football and basketball, we're fully funded, and we get all types of stuff. As you can see, we have all the gear in that. And Coach Church actually gets us travel bags. I think that's pretty cool. It talks about well, you know what? I'm sorry, Coach. I probably let that out the bag, but what it speaks to is the family that we have here at Southern Utah. So I really appreciate that. But first of all, good evening. Thanks for coming. I'd like to introduce my assistant coaches that are here tonight. Please stand up. Well, how about everyone stands up, because I'm pretty sure you guys gave me advice during the game. So, we're excited about our class. We have 2 young men, and what we tried to do, and we were very intentional about this, was add some local flavor to our team. And the 2 young men that we brought in, when we talk about looking at players, there's 3 things that we look for. 1, does the ball actually go in the hoop, right? You get a lot of players that can keep the ball from going in the hoop or take a lot of shots, but it just doesn't go in. So the first thing is, can it go in the hoop? The second, are they competitors? Usually you see that on the defensive end, right? Or they compete, do they play hard, do they do all those things? And then the last thing for me is positive energy. You know, when I watch a kid play, you know, do they smile? Do their teammates like them? And most importantly, does the coach like them? do the officials have a positive interaction with them? So those 3 things are really important. The 2 young men that we have coming in, I think, fit all of those 3 categories. So first one is Cale Barclay. He is from right here in Utah, up there in Salt Lake. He's from Harriman High School. He's a great student, 4.0 student. He's 6'8", very versatile, can shoot the basketball. He's also a young man that can pass, he can defend, and what he wants to improve on, and he asked when I recruited him, you know, Coach, can I handle the ball a little bit? Of course I said yes. I'm going to say whatever it takes to get the young man. But no, he can definitely handle the basketball, and he's one of those players, he's perfect for our system because we play our guys inside and out. He's right now, his team is currently 3-0. He's averaging 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Wow, he shoots 60% from the field, 35 from 3, and 95% from the free throw line. We can use him right now. We'll take him now. He has the Sky Ridge tournament coming up from the 12th through the 14th, and he is that player that, you know, we need size and shooting, so he's going to definitely help us with both. So that's the first young man that we have from Harriman High School at 6'8". That's Cale Barclay. The second young man is Tanner Hayhurst. Tanner Hayhurst, most recently, well, he was at BYU last year. Now he's at the College of Southern Idaho, and he is a shooter. 6'6", can really shoot the basketball. Another young man that can handle it. He can play off of the bounce, and I think that's the one thing that I'm most excited about. Not only can he shoot, but he can also play off the bounce. And the way we play and how we stretch the floor, it's important that we can add someone that can not only shoot it, but also can break down defenders. He's another great student at 3.8. He's averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and he's shooting about 40% from the three-point arc. And of course, he plays for one of the top junior college programs in the country at College of Southern Idaho, which they are 9-2 right now, ranked top 10 in junior college. So we're excited to add those 2 young men. And again, we look for We wanted to add some shooting, and we wanted to add size. I think we did both, and we got 2 young men that have some local ties. Up next, I would like to introduce our head football coach, Coach Fitzgerald. Phenomenal season coach at 6-2 in the league. That's pretty awesome. Coach Fitzgerald.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see some smiling faces, see some friendly faces this evening. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I want to, before I get started, I want to thank our assistant coaches. That big recruiting class, these days all the football recruiting classes are pretty big, but Nate Laylau, John Kelling, Shay McClure, Brady Meesom, Matt White, Darius Smith, Jordan Brown, Sean Magginson, Tim Arnold, Zach Strand, Will Hall, Ryan Creech, Ryan Hunt, Will Brunson, Jacob Stokes, and Braden Hall, our equipment manager. Want to thank them for all that they've done to put this recruiting class together. Also want special thanks to Jeff Tukawafu and his work in helping us and all the administration at our university. It takes this entire village to put together a great recruiting weekend and to get young men to come to school here. Get asked a lot. Get asked a lot on what we look for in a football player, and it's pretty simple now. We're looking for long kids that can run, that can change directions. The love of football is really important to us because if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to last around me and around our staff. And then we're looking for kids that are as tough as a pine knot. And once we find a young man that has all those intangibles, we usually recruit them pretty hard. Without further ado, our recruiting class. First up, Jack Beardall. Jack Beardall is out of the state of Washington. He's a first-team all-conference offensive player, second-team all-conference defensive player. We really like offensive linemen that play both ways in high school. They do better in college, that they're tougher. They understand football a little better. But excited about Jack joining us here next year. Going to make an impact for us up front. Next on the list is Ashton Wysokensky. And Ashton's from back home in southern Maryland, Leonardtown to be exact. Ashton played for 3 or 4 of my former players, so I know exactly what I'm getting from a temperament standpoint with Ashton. I think his best football is ahead of him, but he's first team All-SMAC. He's the Leonardtown High School Defensive Player of the Year, and he led Leonardtown to their best season in school history, led them to the semifinals in the state of Maryland. Ooh, third one. I'm not even going to attempt his first name. This is Lou. We're happy to have Lou. Lou is born and raised in St. George, but played his last 2 high school years at Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas, one of the top 5 high school teams in the country. Lou started at defensive end for them this year, and obviously they're the Nevada State champion in 2024. Great defensive end. Lou came up to camp this summer, and we were kind of on the fence on whether we wanted to recruit him or not. And he went through a 3-hour camp with us, and no one touched him at the defensive end position, and we thought maybe we probably ought to sign him. Next is Shane Klingelberg. Shane is out of Southern California, 6'4", 240 defensive end. First team all Big West in Southern California. Shane was the first young man to commit to us in this class, and then he's done a great job of helping us recruit others to join him. Really excited about Shane. Going to be able to play multiple positions on the defensive line for us. Next up, Zane Reed. Zane Reed's a 5'11", 185 cornerback safety out of San Diego. First team all Pacific League defense. He is the special teams player of the year in the Pacific League. Excited about Zane and his durability and ability to play multiple positions in the secondary. Just a really athletic young man. Sean Brooks is next. Sean's a 5'11", 170-pound cornerback out of Cathedral High School in Southern California. First team all Los Angeles. He is 2-time Division III track champion, 2-time track finalist, young man that can change directions, a lot of interceptions, a lot of turnovers in his career. For everybody here, if you turn the ball over in high school, if you can create turnovers in high school, you usually can create them in college, and that's what we're trying to do here. Next is Tavian Edwards. Tavian's out of Sky Ridge High School up in the Provo, Salt Lake area, and Tavian's 5'11", about 180 pounds. He's a 2-year captain at Sky Ridge, which is one of the best teams in the state. 7-time letterman in track and football, 3-time all-region. We expect Tavian to come in here and get playing time immediately. Going to be a good football player for us. My favorite part of Tavian is he takes that helmet off, guys. He looks like Weird Al Yankovic. So love the young man, but you see his profile and you go, there's no way he can play football. And he's a really good football player. Michael Ernest is next. Michael Ernest is out of that Provo, Salt Lake area also. 6'4", 285 pound, first team all-region offensive lineman. And here's where we really liked Michael, is he sends his film in. He's playing offense, he's playing defense, which again, we want offensive linemen that can play both ways. Michael ran around on special teams for his high school also, and we really like that about him. At 285, you run around on defense and special teams. You got a chance to be really good on the offensive line. Michael will go off and serve his church mission after high school, and we'll get him back in 2 years. Manasseh. Manasseh is the next one. If I try to put both words together, it'll confuse me. Manasseh is a 6'2", 215 outside linebacker we're bringing in. Manasseh started at quarterback at his high school, also started at linebacker. First team all-region academic. Came to camp with us this summer. We had a satellite camp in Salt Lake City, and he was there, and just really impressed with how long he was and his ability to change directions. And then he's always got a smile on his face, which we liked. Maybe the steal of our recruiting class is Ethan Wagner out of Apple Valley, California. You gotta love it, and this family didn't do it, but I love recruiting Barstow and Apple Valley, and they tell me how far we are away. It makes me laugh, because you can get there in about 3.5 hours. Ethan's a left tackle out of Apple Valley, and a tackle, and a very good football player, very good baseball player. He's 6'4", he's every bit of 285, and he's one of those young men that walks in the room, and he's 285 pounds, and he looks like he's 225, but because it's lean muscle, has a chance to be a really, really good football player. His best football's ahead of him. First team all-conference player. Antoine's next. Antonio is next, excuse me, Antonio is next. I'm not trying his last name. Great tackle out of Arizona, 6'5", 265. First team all-region offensive line. Guys, we stole him. He's going to be a great football player going forward for us. And between Antonio and Ethan, they're going to be bookend tackles for us in the future and going to be great players. But excited about getting Antonio here. Cena is next. We took Cena out of Bingham High School. And Cena's 6 foot tall. He's 205 pounds. This past year, Cena had 72 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks. Just watching him at camp and then watching him on film, his aggression, his ability to come forward and come downhill and make plays and be really, really physical, made us want to recruit him. After high school, Cena will go on his mission, and we'll get him back in 2 years. Next on the list is Rand Sawyer. Rand is local, Dixie High School product in St. George. Rand's 5'9", about 185 pounds. He averaged 173 yards rushing per game. Might be the only person in the country this year averaged more yards rushing than Targi did this fall. But he averaged 173 yards rushing, 219 yards all-purpose per game. Was also the best defensive player in that St. George area, and we're excited about Rand. Rand has an opportunity to come in here, guys, and play early at the tailback position and be a difference maker. In our coaching staff's opinion, we thought he was one of the best running backs in the western United States that didn't have multiple FBS offers. But Rand wanting to stay close to home and his mom wanting him to stay close to home really helped our recruiting. A.J. Tillman's next, and A.J. Tillman, just like Targi Lamson, he split carries at Snow College over the last 2 years, but A.J.'s 5'10", about 205 pounds. Same running style as Targi, that they look similar. I should quit comparing him because I'll make the shoes too big for him to fill. But we're excited about A.J. over the next 2 years playing for us, going to do a nice job. Sean Mays is next. Sean Mays is the interesting one. Could have played basketball at a lot of mid-major basketball programs. His basketball highlight is pretty impressive. And when I finally found him and we were watching his film and all, I said, hey, what gives? And he said, I realized I wasn't going very far as a 6'3" basketball player, but I could do a lot of damage as a 6'3" cornerback, defensive back. And I said, yeah, Sean, you can. It's a pretty good move for you. His film, and he played this past year at Santa Barbara Community College in California, but he's from Texas, so a Texas kid. Really, really impressive with how well he runs and changes directions and how he high points the football, and then his aggression. But Sean's going to come in here and make a difference for us immediately. Last of our signees yesterday is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, and it's long, interesting story, but I'll tell his dad's story. So we're recruiting him, and Aaron's on his mission, guys. He gets off of his mission tomorrow. Gets home to Portland, Oregon tomorrow. I get on the phone with his dad, and he says, I'm from Camden County, Georgia. I said, I know exactly where it's at. I've recruited it a bunch of times. He said, I went from Camden County to the University of West Georgia. He said, I converted to the church. I went off on a 2-year church mission, and while I was gone, the mission president said, when I get home, I needed to play for BYU. So I came home and I played for BYU, met my wife, and we made our way to Portland. And I said, hey, Chris, sounds like a nightmare. Go from Georgia to Portland. Anyway, he got a good laugh out of it. Obviously, I didn't offend him too much because Aaron signed with us. I was really impressed with the young man. We sent his scholarship papers to him on Tuesday afternoon, and he signed with us first thing yesterday morning while he's across country on his mission, finishing up. But happy to have Aaron Jones. He is a 5'11 plus, 180 plus defensive back, can change directions and run, and really, really physical. Aaron's going to be a good football player. He joins us in January, so he'll join us immediately. Don't want to leave here without talking about the 3 young men coming off their mission, joining us in January. Jackson Griffiths, who's a defensive lineman from Crimson Cliffs, down in St. George, is 6'3", 245, going to help us out on the defensive line this coming year. He joins us next month. Josh Sanders, what was an all-state wide receiver at Wasatch High School. Josh is 6'1", probably every bit of 195 pounds now, but was a record-setting wide receiver at Wasatch. He'll join us in January. And then Longalima Lessa. I got both of those right. Longalima's a 6'1", 210-pound linebacker out of Provo High School that we signed 2 years ago that we are extremely excited about. Longalima and his family, and 2.5 years later, that their family are some of my favorites that we have hosted on a recruiting trip for a weekend, but really enjoyed his brothers and his dad and all that on the recruiting trip. One more time, want to thank everyone for being here. Really excited about this recruiting class. This is top to bottom the most talented recruiting class that we've had in my time here, and it's probably the one that most reflects our coaching staff's personality. A few years from now, these guys are going to be really good, and we're still going to be competing for conference championships. Thank you.
I'm just going to wrap up real quickly. Thank again our coaches. Appreciate all their work throughout the year, and looking forward to. I think we have a basketball player that plays soccer, so I'm gonna see Kai Edwards at a lot more practices probably, and we got some football players that play other sports, so it's gonna be interesting to watch to see what happens this year. So I also want to say thank you again. A number of our coaches said this, but everything you do to support us, it makes a difference. So we appreciate it. There's a lot of different ways to support the T-Birds, and everything you do makes a difference. So please continue to help. Tell your friends, neighbors, colleagues, anyone you can that we continue to need their help as well. And one final reminder, Monday is our next coaches luncheon over at the Courtyard. And I think Coach Bauman and Coach Jeter are going to be our featured guests, as well as a panel of student athletes, which I never know what's going to go on when that happens. So should be entertaining. But thank you all for being here tonight. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again soon. Go T-Birds.